There's a lot of talk about the Raptors. Will Siakam stay? What's the starting lineup going to be? Is Barnes going to play the point guard? There's a lot of questions, and it's cool. It's pretty interesting to see what the Raptors got going on right now. Anunoby obviously got an extension, $116 million for 4 years. What does that mean? Does that mean Anunoby staying? I mean, one of the frustrations I had, and I've said many times about the wings, I guess you could call us like with Toronto Raptors / wing shop. All right, we got all the wings you need, all the flavors in the wings you need too. So, what if we consider? Because there are people talking about and considering the Raptors keeping the squad just like they have it, having Anunoby, Siakam, and Barnes. But if that's the case, then we have major issues with the starting lineup. If you start Schroeder, it becomes an issue, because if you start Schroeder, the issue is who you're going to play at 2 guard. Okay, so Schroeder and Jakob Poeltl, right? So they cover point guard and center. So you got three more positions left, and those are all the wings. Which wing are you gonna let one of them sit, or are you gonna? You see where the complication comes in. You got Schroeder at your point guard. I want Schroeder to start because he's the only one I could trust with the ball in his hand. Consistently. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, consistently I could trust Schroeder with the ball in his hand. I don't want Siakam at center. I want Jakob Poeltl at center. So that leaves 3 more positions left. And you got Anunoby, you got Barnes, you got Siakam. I don't want to put those guys in those 3 positions, playing together like that. There's not enough shooting. It's not a good look. Yeah, I'm biased with Grady Dick. Like I said, even before the draft, that's one of the players that I remember. I spoke about him in Portland. He was the only one I brought up of the draft players, because I like the fact he's a 6'8". He looks like he could do things with the ball. I'm just really glad that the Raptors picked him up. The only thing is, I don't think the Raptors are gonna put him. They're not gonna lean on him, so they're not gonna put him in the starting lineup. I don't think. They just want to have him because they know they have a good player. They know they have a player that they shouldn't have got at the 13th pick. So they said he could even get traded. Grady Dick can get traded. He is a trade piece, if you ask me now. He can be. No?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, because he's a shooter. Everybody wants a shooter. He's gonna space the floor, right? That's what everybody wants. But at the same time, they got Grady Dick because he complements Scottie Barnes.
Why is that?
Huh?
In what ways?
He complements Scottie Barnes because you could have Scottie Barnes, you gotta have a shooter out there with Scottie. Right? And the way he plays, him and Scottie would play really well together. Remember, they're both like the same age, so they're from the same era. They play, you see what I'm saying? So they understand each other on a level, like, you know what I mean? Like they're the same generation. Yeah, I'm seeing Scottie Barnes highlights.
Wow. Doesn't look good, right? Does it look good?
Yeah, well, yeah, well, but look, I see Scottie Barnes as like a point forward. That's not how a point guard. Point guard doesn't. As a point guard, you're not gonna get to use those moves. None of
Mm-hmm.
those moves are gonna work as a point guard, but it will as a small forward or a power forward. And he'll give power forwards, a lot of power forwards, problems because for a power forward, he's a really good ball handler. But
Yeah,
for
it's
a
true.
point guard, he's a horrible ball handler.
Yeah, and he can't really shoot.
Exactly. So he doesn't have a threat.
Yeah,
Schroeder's not the best shooter either, but he can hit that shot. You don't want to leave him open. We know Siakam has a ding. Like he has issues when it comes to the pressure, right? We don't really want anybody I don't think other teams know or everybody else knows it like that. That Siakam has those issues, right? And we're trying to sell him at that high price with that ding on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the thing is, the glaring issue, and I'm pretty sure we're just the guys talking basketball, but the professionals, right? When you look
Yeah.
at another organization looking at the Raptors, they know we have an issue. We have too many wings. So that's why they're not really trying to budge, because they know it's like it's a game of a chess, like, you know, it's mental chess,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they're saying, we know you guys need to give up a wing. We know you guys got too many wings, and you can't do anything with all those wings.
Yeah, yeah.
So they'll let us suffer. That's the game they're playing with us right now. They're like, okay, you want to go into the season with 3 wings? Go ahead. We're not giving you Benedict Mathurin. We're not giving you Hero. We're not giving you nothing. No, we're not giving you, because we know you guys have an issue. And they may be right, because look at what Masai is doing. Masai is saying, fine, we'll keep Siakam and Barnes and Anunoby, knowing that that's not going to work. We know this. Everyone knows this is not going to work.
I don't know if they know it. They
No,
actually wanna try.
no. That, I'm sorry. The professionals must know. Remember what I just... Okay, what did we do earlier on? We said, the starting lineup then, right? Let's go back to that. Let's go back to the starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Schroeder. Or do you want to put Barnes? Do you want to put Barnes as your starting point guard? If you want to put Barnes, then we could examine other. But do you want to do that? If you want Barnes, it's not that bad if Barnes starts as your point guard. If you believe in him, right? It's not that horrible. You have options. Actually, you know what? I got it. You don't... Okay, cool. But I got it. I think that's the old roster, because I see Kyle Lowry. If you start with Scottie Barnes is your point guard.
Uh-huh.
Then your shooting guard would be Gary Trent Jr.
Looks good, yeah.
Small forward would be OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
Siakam would be your power forward, and Jakob Poeltl would be your center, which is not bad. That's not that bad. Then when you look at your bench, you got Schroeder coming off the bench, got Grady Dick, got Precious, got Boucher. You got all those other guys, you know, Flynn.
What about Koloko?
Well, yeah, Koloko's still, but he'll get some time. He'll get some look. But to tell you the truth, even though I don't like Scottie Barnes starting as point guard, I like that lineup. If Scottie Barnes could handle that position and he could play point guard, that is a very interesting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got 2 shooters, you got Trent, you got Anunoby, and you got the best of both. You got everything. All Barnes has to do is play the point guard. Can he play the point guard position? If he can, I'd be happy. Wouldn't you be happy? I'd be happy. I mean, you put it on the table. I didn't even want to consider him because maybe I'm just not believing in him. Forgive me. I will be dead wrong. If Scottie Barnes flourishes at point guard, I will be dead wrong because I thought he wasn't ready for it. And I've been talking about it for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
But if they even try it, let's say preseason they try it out, see how it works, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's when they should try
Yeah, try it out preseason,
preseason.
see what it looks like. But that is a nice starting lineup. Barnes is your point guard. You got Gary Trent Jr., Anunoby, Siakam, and Pirtle. That's a playoff team right there. I don't care what you say. That's a playoff team.
For sure.
If Scottie Barnes has been saying he's a point guard. He's been saying that. And they're talking about putting the ball in his hands. So it's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
So as to whose team it is, it's I guess it's Siakam's team. Okay, because he's the leader. He's the leader of this team. All right, until he's gone. And other than that, it's Barnes. It's Barnes. Barnes is next up.
What about OG?
Like I said, OG is a role player. He's a really good role player. Right? He could even be your number 2 guy. He could even be a really good, solid number 2 guy. If he's a 3-and-D, I expect him to get better and better at the 3-point line. I still remember that shot against Boston in the corner. And the way he shoots, shooting is like an art for him. I really like that because I didn't even really believe in him as a shooter either. But the way I like him. I've really grown to like him as a shooter. That's why I'm so stuck at Scottie Barnes playing point guard. And I'm with it. If he could do it, I'm with it. But he should know if he could do it or not. And the organization should know if he could do it or not. I don't get paid millions of dollars to figure this out. These people get paid millions of dollars to figure it out. They may start him as the point guard. Then there's your lineup. You got Trent, you got Anunoby. That's a nice team. That's a really good team right there. Yep, and you still got Siakam as a second ball hand who could take the pressure off of Barnes a little bit, right? Because he could handle the ball. So you got everything. Then you got Grady Dick who could come off the bench and hit shots. You got a lot. You got a lot going on. I said a long time ago, even before the hype jumped up, I said I don't think Siakam's going anywhere. I've been saying it for a while, and it's not because I didn't think he should, but but at the same time, I know if a trade went down, we'd be happy. I know if Masai made a trade go down, I know we'd be happy with it. But they'd have to give up Mathurin and someone else. If Mathurin's not in that trade, I don't know if the Pacers want to let him go. That's what I heard. They're not trying to let go of him.
Oh my gosh, come on.
Well, and that's what it's coming down to. The players, like, he's the name why it's not happening. But at the same time, who knows? Maybe that's the talks that are picking up. Maybe they're talking right now. And it could happen, but Mathurin would be coming here. Once the smoke clears and they're done whatever their conversations and they stamp it, Mathurin is a Raptor. or else it doesn't happen. He's a solid, but he's a solid scorer. He's a really good shooter. He can play defense too. Plus he's Canadian, so there's a lot of benefits. Plus we'd be getting him and someone else, Buddy Hield, like a boy that's another straight shooter. Then we'd just be like we'd be a really dangerous team. If you send like I don't know about the math, but Benedict Mathurin and a Buddy Hield, or let's say the other guy. They got a nice. Do you think we need any more bigs? Because they got a big. No, we don't need any more bigs. Eh?
Koloko need time. We need to put him in. We need to let him play.
I agree.
Call me when I'm working out, man. Don't call me when I'm working out. And that's every day of the week, 24/7. So don't call me. Rest of the day, don't call me anytime. Because I ain't going to answer. Guess why? Put it in work.
Hey, you want me to say something about Siakam? He's a Torontonian, man. He's might as well be from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's grown here, everything he's done. He's won a chip here, you know what I mean? And he's still here. So it'd be interesting if they do trade him, but like we said, the dilemma, we're a wing shop, man. We got Barnes, we got Anunoby, we got Siakam. But if Barnes is a point guard, that changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the burning question. Is Barnes a point guard? That changes everything. I don't think he is. I gotta stand by that. I don't think he is. Even when I watch those workouts, he's not playing point guard. When I watch those little scrimmages, he's not playing point guard.
No, he doesn't.
He's not a point guard.
Yeah,
he's not a point guard.
Like a point guard. Yeah.
You just think about the energy of having to bring up the ball and run plays, and plus you got to play defense, get the rebounds. Like, a guy his size and stature, it's just too much. It's just too much work. It looks good on paper if that was your starting lineup. If you had Barnes as a real point guard with Trent and Anunoby and Siakam and Pirtle, that would be amazing. But it's just, I don't. If there's a trade looming, then the odd man out is Siakam. If there's a trade looming, if there isn't, then somebody has to sit on the bench. And I don't know. That's where it gets sticky. A lot of people, I've heard professionals try to break down how the Raptors would, like how their starting lineup, and even they find it very complicated. So it's not easy looking at the roster the way it is, to figure out how they plan to make it work. Someone has to be traded. That's just what the Raptors look like. Like they need to make a trade for somebody, whether it's Anunoby or Siakam. Yeah, somebody's got to get traded. Somebody has to get traded. Somebody must get traded. That's my opinion. I'm not a professional, but someone needs to be traded. It's a must. It's there's just no way around this. To me, this whole Barnes playing point guard, to be realistic, I just think it's a fantasy. What I think Masai is trying to do, he's trying to play hardball. And sometimes you gotta just stop playing hardball, because that's how you could lose your job too. Sometimes you gotta learn when to just say, you know what, just make a move, because you gotta make a move. You stop trying to play hardball. Because the writing's on the wall. Everyone knows someone has to go.
OG.
It's easier to trade OG, to tell the truth. It's easier to trade OG because you could get picks, you could do a whole lot of things, and you're still not in a rush. You're still
Yeah.
not in a rush. You could re-sign Siakam. You know, you're not in a rush because you can be competitive. The East is not too heavy. If Siakam wants to play hardball and say, "Oh, I want," well, Van Fleet got this. Well, then it's not going to be really a good situation. I don't think Siakam should play hardball like that. I think he should be fair. We even spoke about that. You even brought up about him taking a pay cut, like how Nowitzki did with
Wish.
Dallas.
Wish.
All right, you brought that up, and I'm not even saying that he should take a pay cut, but you could be fair, so your team can be competitive. All right, and yeah, I mean, you got to give someone the bag. Someone's gonna get the bag. On the Raptors, no one's really getting the bag. So what's wrong with one person getting the bag? It's gonna be a while before we have to give Barnes a bag. We still got a little time.
You're right. You're right. Somebody has to get paid.
Yeah, somebody has to get a little bag. That's what Houston did with
Your boy.
Van Fleet. They said, okay, well, someone on our team's gonna get a bag, so we'll give it to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if that's what happens with Siakam, and remember, you don't go into full rebuild. You still have a leader. You have someone who's left from the 2019 championship. What you don't want to give all of that away. You know what I mean? You don't want to give all of that away, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You want to keep some of that there, right? Siakam was there at the 2019 championship. He's the only player left from there. Anunoby did not play. He was injured. But then he has to put up, man. He's got to hit those free throws. He's got to like this ain't no. You gotta like. If you're gonna be that, you gotta be that. If you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna sign with no one," fine. But when the time comes, man, please show up, please, because you're the leader on the team now, and now the guys have to look up to you. And if you're not pulling your weight, that's when I've been nice about Siakam, but if he's the only leader left, and he's the one that guys have to look up to, and he's not hitting his free throws, then he's got to go. Right. Well, I think that he should pass on his leadership. So I think he should be doing that now, even so. Just whatever he knows, he should be passing it on to the younger guys. But whenever it's time, it's time. Whenever it's time for him to get traded, then I totally understand. Remember, I don't go really either or on it. I don't have a position on it, to tell you the truth. Because I like where the Raptors are going. I like the rookie that we got this year. So if they traded Siakam, I wouldn't really I'd be like, oh man, that's tough because we're going into full rebuild. We don't have any culture left from the 2019 championship. So it's like a totally new era. So I'd be like, it's a little bit scary to step into a new era like that. That's just how I feel about that. Other guys, you got Trent, you got Anunoby, you got Barnes, you got Schroeder, you got other guys, you got Grady Dick, you got this new guy, Freeman. You got all these guys who will get a chance. Remember, this is still development. Don't forget that. Masai is not in a rush to win a championship right now. He wants to develop these younger players. Going to have to pass on this team to Barnes and go off into the sunset